No, I'm just playing. Alright, let's pour, guys. We're doing second seal coat on this table. Then we're doing a couple of deep pours and I think that's it. Got 3 deep pours to do and a seal coat. Second seal coat. I could have did this seal coat yesterday, but I was slacking. I worked in the shop instead, like in the other shop, throwing dust. So, didn't do it. Alright. I'm going to go like this because you guys be commenting and asking questions, so I want to be able to see while I... Good morning. What's up, girl? Dude, I just let a fucking fly in here, and he's gonna die if he lands in my seal coat. How many flies go in my tables? I mean, I take them out, but still, if you do resin and you got a workshop outside, you know what I'm talking about. Especially with the boys going in and out all the time. Alright, so I got 6 ounces in here for the seal coat for this. The second seal coat can be a little bit thicker than the first. But I'm going to get this table out by Monday. I just realized there's like a bunch of people that haven't ordered their table legs. I think 3 out of the 5 dining room tables have not ordered their table legs yet. So, somebody was asking me, hi, Irish Spring hanging around. Really? Pick flies and bees out of mine. Hell yeah, bees too. I did not know that about Irish Spring. Like the bar soap or the body wash? I'm good. What epoxy do I use? Okay. For what? Deep pours or seal coats? Bar soap. I'll have to buy some because I don't think I've used bar soap in like forever. I think it was Annabelle Woodworks or something like that. What is it? And deep pour. Okay, for the deep pour, I use this Incredible Solutions Pourable Plastic. I've been using this a little bit over 1.5 years. Okay, and the coupon code for the Incredible Solutions is called Green Net Bag Around the House. The one where they have the where they dump the flies out and it's like a whole bunch in there. Fluid Wood 20. Fluid FLUID WOOD 20. That'll give you 10% off that resin. You're welcome. I'll do a post after I get off here saying the resin that I use. There's also a YouTube video on it and a blog post on my website. The blog post, because I use about 4 or 5 different resins for different applications, and they're all there. So it's nitasfluidwood.com. Instead of Woodworks, it's just nitasfluidwood.com. But if you join our resin group, all the stuff that I use is in there. I try to keep the links in there. My YouTube has a video about the resin that I use with the coupon codes and everything. So yeah. Alright. I try to do as much content as I can. But I'm not gonna lie, I slack. Like, especially on YouTube. Just because recording the voiceovers, will the amethyst continue to get clearer? No. I don't think they got clearer. It's like when I put beach glass, in there, when it gets wet, that's just what happens to it. So I actually have an amethyst that I put in water just to see if it would do that when it was wet. And it looked like that in the water. But as soon as I took it out and it dried, it looked the same. So I think that's just what happens when it's in a liquid. It's weird. Opaque. I missed something. No, it's just going to stay the way that it is. Because once it gets wet, that's just what it looks like. It's freaking weird. Which, it doesn't look bad, but... Liquid Sunshine. Opaque what, baby? Thank you. I don't know what we was talking about. What opaque what? I'm sorry, dude. Pregnancy brain. I could be talking about something and 2 seconds later it's like, what? What happened? Seriously, my kids hate it. Amethyst go opaque. This one started to go transparent, translucent. Seriously. Like, it did not get darker in the purple color. It got clear. It's freaking weird. But once it dried, when I took it out of the water, then it got dark again, like it went back dark. Okay. So this resin right here for my seal coats is Total Boat tabletop resin. This is just my go-to. I've been using this for like 2.5 years. I just like the resin. I use it for my seal coats and stuff. Unless I'm doing artwork, then I'll use something with longer cure time. You're welcome. No, you're good. Spell check. Spell check in my phone has me saying some crazy stuff sometimes. And though I have a sailor's mouth, the stuff that my phone says is stuff that I just would not say. Especially to those people that it says it to. Ay, ay, ay. Alright. Okay, second seal coat can be a little bit thicker. What you're going to concentrate on is just getting the wood wet. So all you want to do is just seal the wood grain so that way it becomes non-porous for your flood coat. Because you don't want that flood coat to get air bubbles from the wood in it. So I think this right here, as long as I do it right, this should be, I should only need 2 seal coats. I'm also going to make a video. There's a crack in the wood over there that I purposely did not seal with epoxy. I wanted to show a trick that I do to, like, say if you miss, because when you're doing your seal coats and stuff, sometimes you miss, like, a hole in the wood or something like that, right? So I wanted to purposely do that to show you guys, because it's a big one, what I do to not have to stop and then fill it with resin, sand it down, and do all that stuff. So I'll make the video after this coat dries right here. Then I'll make that video. But I use CA glue. Like if you have cracks in wood or something like that in the wood and you want to fill it and just keep working, like not stop. Like, because the CA glue has an activator that you spray. And you'll be back to work in like less than 30 seconds, seriously. Like, you put the glue on there, you spray the activator, and then, alright, that's it. And then once the activator hits it, by the time you set the can of activator down, it's dry, and then you can just continue to do what you're doing. And the CA glue that I use is called Star Bond. I'm working on getting a coupon code with them just because I like their products and I use them all the time. Like every project that I do, I use it. Okay, so when you're doing your seal coats, try not to leave drippies on the edge. Like, take your squeegee or spreader, I think these are called adhesive spreaders. But if you take it, if you can see right here, there's drippies. I'll check the comments in a second, guys. But if you just go like this along the side, it'll get those drips off, and the quality of work will be superior to if they were there. Like, I did a table when I had the Bell's palsy, and my eyesight was just off, and I ended up having one table that had that on there. Ugh. And I didn't notice it. I didn't even freaking notice it. It was so frustrating. Because that's not what I do. Like, I don't do that. I always pay attention to detail. I'm just trying to make sure all the grain is wet because I don't want to do another seal coat. I just want to do a flood coat after this. And make sure there's no drips because that just don't look good. I'll check the comments in a second. If you got questions, go ahead and ask. I got you. Because I'm going to be mixing resin after this. So we're doing them ocean pours that we did the other day with the waves and stuff, the deep ocean. We are going to do the deep pour on those right now. Okay. Torch time. When you use the torch on the first seal coat, I was saying that you don't want to hold it on the wood for a long time. So my second seal coat saves so much time. Right, hell yeah. Just get the drips now because, oy, this shit would look a mess. The clients would be pissed. Okay, so the first go around, I said don't leave the torch on the wood for a long time. Don't do it because you'll create more bubbles than you'll be taking away. So your second seal coat, if you did the first one decently, you can actually torch this one. You can do the first one, but if you hold it on there too long, you just make bubbles. Shannon, I think that's what happened to you, right? I do 2 to 3 seal coats depending on how porous the wood is, and then I do a flood coat. So the reason that I do the seal coats first is to just seal the wood so that way no air goes from the wood to my flood coat. That's the way that happens. I think I've said flood coat more times in this live than I've said in my whole life. I love this little corner. Is that weird? Isn't there, when you do master at work, when you do tables, is there just, am I the only one, or is there like random little spots that are like your favorite? I always have like my favorite crack or my favorite wrinkle, like these wrinkles right here. Oh, look at them. This is the crack that I was talking about. After this seal coat is cured, I'm going to show you guys what to do if you happen to mix, like if you miss a crack or a hole, because you're not going to get them every time. You're just not. So I'm going to make a video showing what do you do if that happens. Because I'll be damned if I'm going to pick this up, take it to my other shop, or fill it with resin, sand it down, and start over. Not going to do that. So all the tips and tricks, I got you. I'll be back to work in like 45 seconds after filling that. And it'll take me like 45 seconds for the whole process of filling it. So. Look at that food. Somebody asked me in one of my videos, I don't know who it was. Yes. Somebody asked me, how do I clean my rocks after leaving the beach? Well, I'm sure there's a way to clean rocks, and if I needed to, then I would. But I rinse them off at, like, whatever lake I'm at, Lake Michigan, Lake Huron. I just rinse them off in the water over there, and if they're, like, sand and stuff in the bucket, I'll rinse them off at home and then put them in a strainer and set them in the sun to dry. Don't put them in the oven because they'll freaking explode. There's a way to do it, but, dude, if you try to dry your rocks in the oven, whoo, they will explode. Yeah, don't do that. That's bad. So if you do got drips on the side, if you hit it with a torch, not for a long time, but just hit it with a torch, the viscosity of it will thin out and it'll heat up and they'll like disperse. Okay? It just, the heat thins it out. It just lowers the viscosity so that way it'll spread easier or just not be so thick. Hey, where you going? Early August. My dad's coming up here from Florida end of July, beginning of August. My grandma there's Zuper lights in here. Sorry. Sorry. But that right there, like there's freaking glow-in-the-dark rocks in here. I've never found it myself, but I had to say that. Anyways, my grandma got the vaccine and she's not doing well at all. Like, at all. Love you too, Aaron. My godson, I see it says autism. My godson has autism. He's so freaking smart, though. Banger Downs. You talking about Banger? Bay City? I went to high school at Central. I went to Central High School. Until I moved to Florida. And then, can I put in an order? We have arrowheads. Hell yeah. Arthur, hit me up. Aaron, autism. Hi. They are so smart. If you can find their thing, we're going to do some deep pours right now. If you can find their thing that they're like, that they like and are interested in, there ain't no stopping them. There is no stopping kids with autism, I swear to God. Okay, so we're going to fill this in. I did 2 other previous lives. Key West. Oh, they just released a bunch of mosquitoes down there. My dad's pissed. I was in Cape Coral. We're good. I think Pfizer, but she's like pretty much passing. And she was in such good health. Like, it's so sad. Because her and my grandfather, it didn't affect him, but her is just, it's bad. Like, really bad. Alright, let me grab some buckets real quick. Oh. There we go. 80. 120. Alright, y'all. What the fuck was I gonna say? I think it was that one. I'm not really 100 though. That's crazy. I'm so sorry. This shit is a mess. I'd be glad. I would say I'd be glad when it goes away, but I don't think it's ever gonna. There's always gonna be. I mean, even if it does go away, things will never be the same. Like, there was lines that were crossed during this that I just don't think anything. My kids, I feel sorry for because it's sad. Okay. I need to find a clean bucket because the bucket was not clean. Me being pregnant, I can't lift them up all the way. I can't lift them big buckets up. All right. Here we go. Sorry, fixing the camera, yours. There we go. Okay. So the deep pour resin that I use is 2-to-1 mix. So I'm going to do 80 of the resin, and then I'll go to 120 with the hardener. And I'm going to let that drain out until... What is each one? I do need an assistant. I actually hired a girl from the Rite Aid up here. But not to work with me doing this. To pack shipping orders and to take pictures. I want somebody to take the pictures of my products and put them up on my website because I slack. Like, do you know how much stuff I have done that's not on my websites? Yeah. Like, I've got a lot of stuff that's done and it's just not up on my websites. Is there any questions? Thank you. Thank you. Okay. What is each one what? What do you mean? These? What is each one? If you're talking about this is resin, and the one with the red label is the hardener. I think that's what you're asking. I don't know how it's going. I go through so much resin. Excuse me. I had my guy that I get wood from message me and try to sell me 72-inch wide maple slabs, and I want them so bad, but I won't be able to move them. I have to call an uncle or something. Thank you. The boards and pens, all your work. Thank you. The doctors say yes. Yes. Thank you. Thanks, Aaron. Yeah, the doctor said that. And then my other one ended up getting shingles from it. You ever heard of that? And then when she reported, that's actually a thing. Like, shingles from them. That's actually a thing. I did not know that. I mean, not that I'm I gotta worry about it, but yeah, that's crazy. All right, let me turn on the camera. There we go. Okay. Did you get it from that or no? 2-to-1. I'm just mixing in a bucket that goes up to 120, so I'm trying to get the most out of it. So I put 80 of the resin, and then I went to 120 with the hardener. So it's 2-to-1. So 40, 80, 120. Yeah, she's still in pain. They went away, but she is still hurting. I feel so bad for her because there's nothing that I can do, and they don't do nothing really for her, so this is really sure. I'm going to turn this up. Turn the heat up. And if you buy this resin, I can't speak for other resins. If you buy this resin and you're working with it, and you go to mix, don't worry about bubbles. Seriously, thanks for the fire. Don't worry about bubbles. Seriously, because there's enough open time with this resin that you do not got to worry about bubbles. Like, they'll all come to the surface, they'll all pop. The one thing that I am worried about, I'll show you real quick. I'm worried about this piece of driftwood. Do you see all those holes in there? I should have sealed it. but I didn't. Look at that. That's going to release some major freaking air. But it's going to be tight. And this driftwood right here, whew, I found that like Shannon, I've done that so many times, dude. Like, I always tell people, hold the bucket. Like, hold the bucket. I don't always hold the bucket, but I know when I can and when I have to and don't have to. Like, there's resin under here that's a little bit tacky, so it'll hold the bucket for me. But if it was to slip, that shit would be everywhere. Thanks, babe. What would you seal it with? Resin. Just a faster curing epoxy. Like, say when I was doing my waves and my color and stuff, I would have kept some clear out and went over it with, like, poured a faster sealing resin on there. Like, just the tabletop stuff. That's all. I think the last bathroom sink that I did, I ended up flinging epoxy all over. Whoops. Get some glovies on because this shit burns. This resin, Stone Coat Countertops epoxy will freaking murder my skin. Like, seriously. Does the resin stink? This one does not. Some do. This one does not. I always, especially with the baby, always wanting to help me. I do have a very good ventilation system. It's from Jet. It cleans the air out in like 2 minutes. So I just flip that on. I also have a good ventilation going out and coming in. So yeah, this one's really, really good for that. So because she likes to come out here and help me, I always try to use like non-VOC, very low odored stuff. I don't let her touch the resin, but just her being around it. And like even coming in afterwards, because there's some resins that you use and they say that they're low odor, but they are absolutely not low odor. Like, there should be stank, be having a headache and stuff. Does the drill help prevent bubbles? Oh, hell no. Look at all these bubbles. Look. Look, you can't even see my stick. That's how many bubbles is in there. But I don't care. Happy new moon. This resin right here has a 24-hour open time. Like, it will be completely liquid for 24 hours. So, all these bubbles in here will be gone in like 10 minutes because the viscosity of it. Thank you. I'm almost like, we're waiting for the... I'll get to that, Erin. Hold on. I'm ADHD, so if I see something, I'm going to try to talk on it and not finish my first sentence. So, what is it? Minnie Mouse. So, this one right here is... The viscosity of it is so low. It's so thin that the bubbles are just, like, gone. Like, they're just gone in 10 minutes. Once I pour, I'll pop the bubbles. I can come back. Small, but not too small. I use them for, like, this is probably coasters and this right here. But for, like, this small, or is this not small? This is small for me. Like, so, like, I use it for stuff like this, or, like, the coasters with the rocks and stuff in it. So, I would say... from a 1/4 inch, but not too small, because then it'll take like freaking forever to cure, and you just don't want that. I would use something with a slower cure time, such as like art resin or Stone Coat Countertops, even the art coat Stone Coat Countertops, but just the regular epoxy from Stone Coat has a very long open time, and it allows for all the bubbles to be popped. But alcohol inks, tell me if anybody else, my bump is there and she is massive. Does anybody else have this? Have you used Stone Coat Countertops countertop epoxy and alcohol inks? And have you had flexible products. I know how to mix resin. I mix resin every freaking day. And every time I put alcohol inks with Stone Cold Countertops resin, and that's the only resin that it does it with. It don't do it with the other ones that I use, but just that one. It's weird. Do you guys ever get that? Have you ever tried it? Don't try it. Or do try it and tell me if it happens. Aaron. You too, Shannon? No shit. I'm not the only one. Like, I did my self-defense keychains with those. Pissed. Luckily, there was shrinkage and there was a lip on the back that I put Total Boat, a layer of Total Boat on the back of it, and I was able to make them hard. But had I used Stone Cold Countertops and the alcohol inks, they would have stayed flexible and I would have been out money and pissed off. Aaron. Where is it? Aaron, where'd you go? That countertop. Are you talking about the one with the dock and all that? Never used that brand before. Yeah, if you use too much inks, I know that. Like, if you use too much inks, thank you. If you use too much inks, then you can definitely mess up the curing of the resin. But the thing is like, and I don't even use that much. Like, it's just weird because I did a pour and it had, some of them were the art resin and then some of them were Stone Cold Countertops. And I'd go through and I did all the ratios the same. I drip, 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 drip. And sure as shit, Stone Cold came out flexible. They're really good if you want to do like skateboards and stuff like that. I like it because it's more flexible. So I like Stone Cold because it's just flexible. Like, it's good for skateboards. It gives you flex and they don't snap. That's what I use on my skateboards. Last time I said that, somebody told me their epoxy was overrated. Maybe so, but it's flexible and it works great for... I've had 250-pound men riding on my skateboards for over 2 years. And they're still going. Somebody was like, oh yeah, try riding it. Call me in a year. Call me in 10 years, bro. Mica powders. No, I use mica powders in all the time. I think SCC resin is just a flexible resin. Honestly. But if you're doing an art pour, like if you're doing something on a canvas or something like that, it doesn't matter. I wouldn't use it for jewelry and shit though. I would use art, like one of the art resins, or doesn't Counterculture have a really good resin? How do you say your name? Chimera. You're going to say yes or no, and I'm not going to know which one was yes and no. I hate when people do that. They're like, Nita. And then I say yes, and they call me Nita. I can't never. Okay, I'm going to pour this. And... All right. So this is my first time using this reusable mold as well. So somebody asked me about bubbles. I'll show you how many bubbles are in here. I didn't mean to do that. Like, you're not going to be able to see the rocks or anything. This is how much bubbles I've mixed into this. But it doesn't matter. Like, it really legit does not matter. I made a mess. And I don't care. Alright, let me show you how much bubbles is in here. I'm so ready to see too. Okay, look. You see that? You see how many bubbles is in there? Look at that. Okay, bits. You see that? It's okay. I promise you it's okay. Because it's going to come out looking like this. With nothing. So, I think I'm just going to do that layer in there. And then, I think I'm just going to do that layer and then come back just in case if that driftwood lets off too much air. I don't want to have to fix it like that. So what I'll do is I'll let this sit for about 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I could let it sit for an hour. The next time that I come back, all of these bubbles that's under there are going to be absolutely gone. Isn't it? Do you use heat gun or alcohol spray? Neither. Only time I use alcohol is if I'm doing an art piece and I want to add some effects to it. If I use a heat gun is when I'm pushing resin and I use a torch to pop my bubbles. I just don't want to fling resin everywhere. I've found that, okay, so this is the thing, like, okay, somebody just said, would a heat gun be as good as the torch? So, yes and no. Yes, you can pop the bubbles with a heat gun. But, say if you got your resin where you want it, even if you're doing art, if you're doing whatever, I've noticed that I get better results of just popping bubbles with a torch. So, you're welcome, Mitty. Heat gun I use for pushing resin and just doing effects and things like that. So waves and cells and just like crazy shit. I use a heat gun. I see a lot of people use them on tumblers and things like that. So yeah, adding effects and doing art and stuff, definitely a heat gun. But I also use a torch when I'm done moving it and I just want to pop the bubbles. So I suggest you get both. These are a little bit pricey, like these handles. I think they're like $50. But you can get the ones that you light with a lighter, like for 15. So, and they got the green bottoms. So as long as they're propane. Your torch has set off the smoke alarm and burned my resin. Don't hold it there for that long. Don't leave it on there for that long. Like, seriously, I'll show you how fast I go. Like, thank you very, very, very much. You're going to burn your resin. So, when you're, like this right here, when I'm torching, don't stay still. You always want to move, stay about 2 to 3 inches from the surface. You can go a little bit further back, you can come back, but just don't stay still. If you're trying to move the resin, get a heat gun. But otherwise, don't stay still. Like, just keep moving. Like that. Pop your bubbles and move on. Thanks, Danny. I think that'd be it, though. I'm gonna let this do its thing. I'll do a TikTok when I come back. I'll just let all the bubbles come up to the surface because you can see they're all coming up. I'll just come back in about 30 minutes and I'll make a TikTok showing how clear. I'll take a video right now and then I'll come back and I'll just show how clear it gets just after they all just come to the surface, okay? Because it's going to be 100% transparent. Just because of the open time. So, it's going to look like this. That's how it's going to look. I put a shell in this one. I hope my client's not pissed. They didn't ask for a shell, but I put a shell. Anyways, alright, y'all. Oh, here's one more thing. I had mentioned it earlier. So later on today, I am going to be, I hope it's today. I got to figure out how to do an email list, because what I want to do is I want to launch e-courses, but I'm going to look for 5 people for 3 courses. 1 geodes, 1 is going to be like a skateboard or something random that I do. And the other one is going to be like oceans, deep oceans, art, whatever. Or should I do art and then a deep pour? I want to figure it out. So I need 5 people to go through each one. Not the same 5 people for each one, but 5 people to go through each one and tell me what they got out of it. Tell me what, because it's hard for me when I do this every day. It's hard to remember what I don't know, what you don't know. Hold on. When I was beginning, I didn't know how to make molds. I didn't know that. So now that I do this every day, it's hard for me to remember what it's like to start out. So if I have people go through the courses as I build them, I think it would be more informative and just a lot more in depth and be way more helpful for some beginners to go through them as I build them. And I'm going to look for like 5 people for each one. Geodes, that was it. Geodes, like the art, and then the deep pour. That's what they were. So I'm going to look for that video. I'm going to try to get it out today. There is going to be a way to sign up for it. It'll be in the video. Look at what I was just talking about. What did I just say? What did I just say? You nasty. And you will die there. We just talked about that. Shannon. Alright, so if you're interested, when we get off of this live, what I'm going to ask for is your email. That's how I'm going to contact you. So direct message me your email, but I am going to make an actual video when I come up with this. I get out of the shop at 4. I'll try to do it by the time I go to bed tonight. So as long as Imani's not whipping carrots at my head, she's been in a mood the last couple of days. So as long as she's not too needy, I will get it out tonight. If not, first thing tomorrow. So yeah. Okay? All right, y'all. Send me your email if you're interested in the e-course thing, and watch for the video because I got you. All right? Have a good one, y'all.